Well, it's time for absolutism and enlightenment. So, this is kind of a weird little unit that doesn't 100% fit in any of the like predetermined AP categories because technically we're still in the time period 1450 to 1750, but look at the dates. Absolutism is kind of this like, I don't know, weird in between period. Okay, so here's how it's going to lay out. Absolutism is all this, okay? And then starting on page, whatever this is, we'll start the Enlightenment, okay? Absolutism, let me go big, maybe, there we go. Okay, absolutism, my head might be too big. It's all right. Okay, so absolutism is a type of government, all right, where you have a king, not a dictator, a king. You have a king who has absolute total control. Total control. He literally can do whatever he wants. In fact, he has total control not only of like his kingdom, but his nobles. And as a king, you got to have control of your nobles. See, often the nobles are going to be the ones who like lead the revolts and stuff. During the period of absolutism, these kings have total control. Total. And it is because of this right here. It's a vocab word. Divine right. Divine means of God. Okay, if something is divine, it is heavenly, it is godly. Divine right is basically the right to control your country, given to you by God. In this case, we're talking about Europe, so it's Christianity, the Christian God, okay? It is the idea that these kings share in the 1600s that 15 and 1600s, that basically God chose me to be king. He put me in this position. He put me in this family, not you. And since he put me here, he chose me. Check this out. If you don't do what I say, look at this right here. Do you see that? Look at that. If you don't do what I say, since I'm God's chosen one, then that means you're not really going against me. You're going against God himself. And if you're going against God himself, then you are not a Christian. And if you are not a Christian, burning times, you're a heretic. And we got to get rid of you. Do you see how these kings are going to have so much control? People are scared to death to speak out against them. They have so much power. Partially, well, mostly because of this idea of divine right. God put me here. I represent him. I speak for him. And when I pass a law, it's because he told me to. I heard it. He told me to. Now, some of these kings are going to truly believe this. Okay, they're not, I don't know, corrupt kings. Some of them, you know, they're going to use this to their own advantage. Okay, it just depends on, I don't know, like who you are or whatever. That being said, let's look at our first king. He's a little early, but he just fits here. Charles V. I love Charles V. Charles V is Spanish. In order to explain Charles V, I do need to back up a little bit. I honestly don't remember if I put in the videos, I mean, I know I did it in class, but I honestly don't remember if it was in the videos or not for exploration about Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. I don't know, I don't remember. So look, this is Spain, but look, is it united yet? No. Spain right now is the biggest Spanish kingdom, Castile. And then the second biggest, Aragon. It's this, but it's also these islands, and it's also this right here. So it's not this tiny, but it's these islands too. And then of course you have this smaller one up here. Granada is still like Muslim influence. Okay. We have two members of the royalty here. Ferdinand, the Prince of Aragon, is going to marry Isabella, the Princess of Castile. When they get married, the two separate Spanish kingdoms are joined together. Castile and Aragon become one. And instead of calling it the Kingdom of Castile, okay, or the Kingdom of Aragon, they call it Spain because they're all Spanish people. So it's with Isabella and Ferdinand. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. It's with Isabella and Ferdinand that we get like Spain today. My head is way too big. What the heck? I don't have an arrow. See, there it is. There we go. This is Ferdinand and Isabella. Ferdinand is coming from Aragorn. I'm just going to Lord of the Rings here. Coming from Aragon. Isabella is coming from Castile. Isabella's coming with more land than him. Isabella's coming to this marriage with more wealth than him. Isabella is coming to this marriage with more people support than him. She kind of runs things. There you go, girls. I mean, he's the king, duh, but she kind of runs things, okay? Their son. Oh, by the way, making connections. It's them who gives Christopher Columbus the okay to go ahead and go to the West, and he discovers Americas, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. So making some connections there. Their son is this guy, Charles V. We think, yeah. Charles V has a very telltale sign that he's their family. He has what's called the Habsburg jaw. Their family name is Habsburg. Family name, last name. The Habsburg jaw is an inbreeding deformity. Oh yeah. Due to royal inbreeding throughout the years. And it's just an elongated bottom jaw. I just heard a phone like ringing. I guess somebody's in the hall. So anyway, Charles V becomes king after Isabella and Ferdinand die. Mommy and daddy? No, Charles. Okay, check this out. Charles V owns everything you see here in red. Holy cow, man. That's a lot of land. He has Spain. What the heck is this? You mean Spain has taken over something in Africa? Oops. They took over the Philippines already. And of course, they have New Spain, the Americas, everything to the west of this Treaty of Tordesillas line. Okay? Look at Europe. If it's in red, it's Charles V's. Let's do an up close of what he owns. If it's in color, he either owns it or he has a lot of control over it. Okay, look, right here, Castile and Spain, he owns, Castile and Aragon, he owns Spain, yeah? Wait, what? A lot of influence, a lot of control. Look over here. Let me move my head so you can see this. The Holy Roman Empire? What? Charles V will become the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. You're like, how? He's in charge of Spain. What? It's because of his family. The royal families are all inbred, you guys. They all are. His family rules Spain. His family also owns Austria. You have the Spanish Habsburgs and you have the Austrian Habsburgs. And what happens is he also becomes king over here, okay, which kind of means he gets all of this. Bohemia and Hungary kind of all goes together. And then he's voted in to be the next Holy Roman Emperor. So he has all of this. What the heck? He'll take this, he'll get this, and then what they call the Spanish Netherlands. Look at his land, you guys. Charles V, look at this. He has like more power than anybody in Europe at this point, in the late 1500s. Except the Pope, probably. How do you control that much land? How, if you're Charles here in Spain, how do you know what in the world is going on down here or way over here? What do you do? Guys, you have to have a huge control over your nobles so that you know that your nobility, they're doing exactly what you tell them to do. And how does Charles do it? Well, Spain. Spain is highly Catholic. Yeah? Spain in the 1500s isn't pulling away from the Catholic Church and making new churches like everybody else is in the Protestant Reformation. I shouldn't say everybody else, but like the Holy Roman Empire, the Lutherans, like here in Switzerland, the Calvinists, like here, way up here in England, the Anglicans, you have Huguenots in France. Spain, you don't really have a lot of Protestants in Spain. It is highly Catholic, big time Catholic. That being said, Charles is going to push this idea. God chose me. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're going against God. Look at all this land. Guys, if you don't know what all this land is, okay, just put the basics. You don't have to put Burgundy. Just put part of France. Spanish Americas, Holy Roman Empire, Austria, which is the Holy Roman Empire, but whatever. He has control because so many people believe that he's put there by God. Now, he does have a problem. Do you remember these guys right here? The Ottoman Empire. Yeah. Let's look at the map. Where is the Ottoman Empire? Okay. Look at France. If you're France, and this is the map, Charles V owns or controls or has strong influence over everything that's in yellow or red. If you're France, are you scared to death? You should be. He doesn't have control of this right here. Do you see this gray part? Yeah, but that's the papal states. That's what the Pope owns. And Charles V is a hardcore Catholic. So he's an ally to this. Guys, if you're France, you're scared to death that he's about to take you over. So France does something kind of shocking, actually. The Ottoman Empire has been trying to move and take over territory here in Hungary. This over here, Transylvania, Romania today, but Transylvania, Hungary, and Austria. They've been trying to take over this land, and it's not really working. I mean, they'll take over a piece, and then the Europeans get it back, and then the Muslims get it back, and then the Europeans get it back. So it's kind of this back and forth for like the last however long, 100 years or whatever. Well, France says, hey, Ottoman Empire, we really need you to do something about Charles. If you can't take Austria, we'll ally with you. Because you can always come. Remember, Africa's down here, you guys. Africa. I know my thing's on the way. Africa, right there. That's the Ottoman Empire too right now, Africa. You can always come this way and enter Spain this way. Ooh. Oh, France. France just made an alliance with the Ottoman Empire to take over and like hurt Charles V to whittle down his power a little bit. Well, hold on. Where is it? Here we go. The Ottoman Empire is going to be able to take over this again for a little while. And they will be able to get a little tiny bit of a foothold right here again. But did they really hurt Charles V's power? No, because Charles is just going to take it right back. Charles V is in constant war with somebody. When you own this much land, I mean, y'all, really, look at this. When you own this much land back then, you're going to be constant war with somebody. It's just inevitable. If you're not fighting the Ottoman Empire here, see, okay, then you're going to be fighting the Native Americans over here. If you're not fighting them, you're going to be fighting some of the African tribes here. If you're not fighting them, you're fighting some of the Filipino people that are like, what the crap, get out of our land. Okay, he's constantly fighting. And even though he does believe that God put him here, he does something that again kind of shocks people. Like it's a, whoa, what did he just do? Type thing. He abdicates. It's word right here. Abdicate. Abdication, I've talked about it before, but that's when you literally like take off your crown and give it to someone else. It's like a king retiring. They're still alive, but they're not king anymore. Charles V says, this is too much, man. I've been doing this for a while. Did I put his ruling dates up here? I don't know. I don't remember how long he ruled. No, that's not his ruling dates. I don't remember, but he rules for a while. Okay. And he's like, I've been doing this for long enough. Over this. So he abdicates. He passes the throne down to his son, Philip II. Philip II, if you remember, he's the one that Queen Elizabeth beat during the Spanish Armada, the ships where the storm like, this is that king. Okay. Remember, the stuff that we did right before Christmas is all happening at the same time. There's just so much stuff happening right now that we can't talk about it all at the same time. So, Philip II becomes the new king of Spain. Okay. And then he loses most of this power when Queen Elizabeth is able to beat him in the Spanish Armada whole battle thing. Although technically, did Elizabeth do it or did she get a little help from, Mother Nature? Whatever. That being said, Charles gives Philip the throne and then leaves like public sight. He goes into a monastery. The monasteries are where the monks live. You read the Bible all day, you worship God, you copy Bibles, stuff like that. Education too, like they teach the noble kids and stuff. But he's like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I'm done. So he gives up his power and he says, God has told me to give you, Philip, power over Spain. But not power over everything. Charles felt like it was too much. Again, look at Europe. So Charles abdicates and his empire kind of separates. Philip II is going to get control, okay, over Spain, the New World, and up here. Charles' brother, okay, I think it's his brother. Did I put it on here? I don't remember if I did. His brother, I know it's Ferdinand. There it is, brother. That's what I thought. I just suddenly was like, oh, maybe not. Yeah, but another Ferdinand. It's not the same Ferdinand as I showed you earlier, but his brother is given control of the Holy Roman Empire. And then shortly after, Charles dies. He's there for a few years in the monastery, and then he dies. So much power. Why? Theocratic power, divine right. God put me here. What I do is because God wants it. Yeah? And then he gives it up. He isn't kicked out. He isn't overthrown. He doesn't get taken over. He gives up that power. Huh. So is he one of these corrupt guys? It depends on your point of view. Some people will say yes. Some people will say no. Okay, tomorrow we're going to a new place completely.